So J.K. Rowling has said in the past that she would happily go to jail for using someone's incorrect pronouns, but the question of the day is, has that time actually come? Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. If you are new here, welcome. I do appreciate you clicking on the video to watch it. And since you are here, I would love it if you would take one more second and hit that subscribe button now. And also make sure to turn on the notifications to make sure that you never miss an upload. And of course, to those of you that are returning, you know that I truly appreciate you leaving your comments, engaging in the conversation, and just being overall supportive. And I would love it if you would make sure that you are subscribed as well. The Summer Olympics are finally over, but unfortunately some of the controversy that played out in that time is not going to end with the closing ceremonies. Most of you are aware by now, a huge point of contention and debate in that time was this whole situation with Algerian boxer Imane Khelif being allowed to compete in the women's category despite previously failing a gender test by the International Boxing Association and being told by the World Championships that they couldn't fight women at their event because Imane had the biology and physiological advantages of a male. And the reason, of course, that we are phrasing this differently than all of the other situations that we've seen play out in women's sports over the last couple of years, because they're transgender, where we have mediocre males changing their names and pronouns so that they can pretend to be a woman and earn a trophy or a medal that way, is because there is reason to believe that Imane Khelif was actually born with a DSD, which were previously known as intersex conditions, and was likely raised as a female per doctor's recommendations when they were an infant. Of course, none of us were in the delivery room or in any other pediatric appointments for this person as a child, but because this issue has stirred up a much needed conversation about these conditions, from what I have learned, it is very common for doctors to advise parents to raise babies with these conditions as female and to maintain that identity, even though through puberty and adulthood, it might become abundantly clear that this person is a male. So the conversation really caught fire after Imane Khelif beat their first opponent, Angela Carini, who is from Italy, as she stopped the round 46 seconds into the match, recognizing that this person had a significantly more powerful punch than anyone she had previously fought against. And someone who was quick to take to social media and voice their frustration for yet another biological male in sports with women, particularly a combat sport, was J.K. Rowling. The men in women's sports and spaces thing has been a subject that she has been extremely vocal about. She has repeatedly stated that this is not about discrimination or hate for anyone who is struggling with their sexuality or identity, but when it comes to sports or housing men in women's prisons and the other countless dangers and injustices we've seen when it comes to gender ideology and self-ID laws, there are privacy and safety concerns around women that are blatantly being dismissed to the detriment and to the harm of women. Despite the fact that this is a different situation with Khelif's medical condition, the frustration still stands with this consistent denial by trans activists and the radical left that truth matters, that science matters, and that biology matters. That regardless of what you have going on in your head or what it even says on paper, or whether you were born with a condition where your sex characteristics, hormone levels, or chromosomes differ from what we would consider normal, there is still always a biological reality in every situation and physiological advantages that exist in males, even if they are atypical in some way in their development. Imane Khelif has XY chromosomes, the testosterone levels of a male, and the physiological advantages of a male. So one of the first tweets that J.K. Rowling put out on this situation was this one. It says, "Could any picture sum up our new men's rights movement better? The smirk of a male who knows he's protected by a misogynist sporting establishment, enjoying the distress of a woman he's just punched in the head and whose life's ambition he's just shattered." And since then, she was very vocal about this situation as it was continuing to unfold and as Imane Khelif was put in the ring with more women, beating them in their rounds and ultimately taking the gold medal. And these are a few more of the tweets on the situation. She said, Watch this whole thread, then explain why you're okay with a man beating a woman in public for your entertainment. This isn't sport. From the bullying cheat in red all the way up to the organizers who allowed this to happen, this is men reveling in their power over women. This one says, a young female boxer has just had everything she's worked and trained for snatched away because you allowed a male to get in the ring with her. You're a disgrace, your safeguarding is a joke, and Paris 24 will be forever tarnished by the brutal injustice done to Carini. In response to the International Olympics Committee, who clearly adheres to this ideology that there are no biological differences between men and women, who are very woke and very much out of touch with reality and scientific facts and are willing to put women in danger, obviously. This is another tweet by J.K. Rowling responding to someone saying that Imane Khelif should sue everybody for pointing out these biological facts. The idea that those objecting to a male punching a female in the name of sport are objecting because they believe Khelif to be trans is a joke. We object because we saw a male punching a female. So of course they think that the only reason that people would be objecting to this is because we're bigoted and we're hateful and not because it's actually extremely unsafe and immoral. And this last tweet says, commentators pretending critics of the IOC's reliance on documents rather than sex testing think Khelif is trans are strawmanning. I don't claim Khelif is trans. My objection, and that of many others, is to male violence against women becoming an Olympic sport. And it is baffling because in any other context, women would be unified on both the right and the left that a man punching a woman is a terrible thing. But because this is an Olympic sport and this person thinks that they are a female and calls himself a female, there are activists saying that this is perfectly fine. Of course, people who actually are aware of what is going on know that this has absolutely nothing to do with discrimination and bigotry, but this is about disrupting Western society. The truth is now considered hate speech, and it has to be silenced by people who need to push an agenda. And they can't do that if there are people, particularly with a large platform, allowed to say things that would cause anyone to question their agenda. They're trying to disrupt Western society, to destroy the family, and destabilize a culture based on a fundamental belief in right and wrong by pushing confusion and chaos. And what's been more effective in pushing confusion and chaos than insisting that people can pick their gender and anyone who disagrees is the actual threat? And one of the most effective ways to do that is to criminalize and make a public example of anyone who pushes back, to let everyone else know that if they say these same things, if they say things that are true, that they could face the same consequences. And here's where we get to the cyberbullying lawsuit launched by attorney Nabil Boudi on behalf of Imane Khelif, in which J.K. Rowling, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump were among the bullies named in these documents. So in the article it says, Algerian boxer Imane Khelif has named Elon Musk and J.K. Rowling in a lawsuit filed to French authorities over alleged acts of aggravated cyber harassment after they led outcry at her participation in the Paris Olympics. Nabil Boudi, the gold medalist Paris-based attorney, told Variety that the Tesla mogul and Harry Potter author were both named in the criminal complaint posted to the Anti-Online Hatred Center of the Public Prosecutor's Office last week. J.K. Rowling and Elon Musk are named in the lawsuit, among others, Boudi wrote on X, noting that Donald Trump would also be part of the investigation. Of course he is. What investigation by the left is Donald Trump not a part of at this point? It's almost like they see investigation, they see criminal complaint, and they have to find some way to wrangle him into it. It's absolutely fascinating. And this bottom paragraph here does outline the possible consequences that they could face, which does say jail time. It says possible repercussions for cyberbullying offenses in France are prison sentences ranging from 2 to 5 years and fines ranging from 26,000 euros to 39,000 euros. If prosecuted as online hate speech, perpetrators could even be fined 64,000 euros to 214,000 euros. You guys may have seen this video from a few weeks ago where a man recorded himself being arrested and taken from his home for posting on Facebook about the illegal immigrant problem that has caused absolute mayhem in his area.
1440, arresting you on suspicion of improper use of the electronic communications network under Section 127 of the Communications Act, okay? So you do not have to say that may harm your defence if you don't mention one question, something which you later are in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand that?
So I'm actually being arrested?
You're going to be arrested, okay?
Right.
So you got to the police station.
Right.
You, okay, this is in relation to some comments that you've made on a Facebook page. Okay?
Oh, really? Oh, it's a Facebook crime, is it?
Okay.
Right.
So
Yeah, things are clearly cracking down in the UK, but nobody is more happy about the potential of JK going to jail for speaking out about a man punching women than feminists are. This was a particularly interesting read by opinion writer Brendan O'Neill. He wrote about how gleeful feminists are about a woman being silenced by a man. He said, champagne corks are a poppin' across transland because Queen Turf hasn't tweeted for 15 days, or 15 blissful days, as one especially thrilled Rowling phobe puts it. The glee is wild. Perhaps Rowling has been hit by the old silencio spell, they chortle. Folk haven't been this happy to see a woman struck dumb since the mob watched those witches dangle in Salem. Their theory is that Rowling fled X in response to Algerian boxer Imane Khelif's cyberbullying lawsuit. Khelif caused a stink at the Paris Olympics by fighting in the women's category and snatching gold, despite previously failing gender eligibility tests. In the blunt words of the president of the International Boxing Association, Khelif's a fella. Rowling, with her quaint belief that men should not punch women in the face or anywhere, tweeted her disapproval. Khelif fired back with the lawsuit, and now Rowling's done a runner, or so the woke hope. And yes, JK was silent on X for about 2 weeks, which is very uncharacteristic of her, someone who tweets constantly, particularly about this issue. Again, I don't think it was out of fear. It may have been under advice from her legal team, or perhaps she really was on vacation. But I did see this tweet from her this morning, responding to this PR campaign trying to again convince us that Imane Khelif is a woman, as they gave this person a makeover, gave them earrings, straightened their hair. We've been over this. Makeup, earrings, wardrobe, hair does not make you a woman. But JK said in response to this, it's important to highlight that launching a PR campaign and applying layers of thick makeup requires far more time and effort than simply making DNA test results public. Clearly, we don't know what is going to happen with this lawsuit, but just to be clear again, this has nothing to do with transgenderism. This has nothing to do with being transphobic. It has nothing to do with bigotry or discrimination. As I said earlier, this is about pushing an agenda of chaos to destabilize society, and they will target anyone who tries to wake people up to it, because people who are aware of what's going on are going to make it that much more difficult for these extremists in power to get the chaos done. But I would love to hear all of your thoughts on this in the comments below. Please be sure to hit that like button, make sure that you are subscribed and that your notifications are turned on. Keep it real, guys, and I will see you in the next one.